welcome to another episode of Chaotic Harmony, episode 122. I am one of your hosts today, Jonathan Seligman, and today I am joined by the queen of YouTube herself, Sasha
Get out of
Stone. Get out
get
of here.
out of here.
Well, the good news is, Sasha, today there is no game show, at least planned. So at least there's that. At least there's that. And also joining us today is the king of cardigans. We could not have a queen without a king. Actually, we could definitely, but we have the king of cardigans, Marc mkeehmer. Hello, Marc.
Hello, hi. So I was really excited because after our episode released a couple weeks ago, it was very like fall weather, and so it was like low 70s. So I got to wear one, and then today it was 88, and I'm like, this false fall is garbage. So I'm like sweating today. It's the worst. But hi, John.
Hello.
Hi, Sasha.
I guess we're bringing our
Hi.
summer vibes or our San Diego fall vibes, pre-fall. What do we even call this? Like, this is like the late summer,
I,
right, Sasha?
I feel like summer goes till October in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, October's so hot in San Diego.
Hmm.
I mean, you remember those days?
Oh yeah. Oh, you betcha.
Tasty. By the way, to our listeners, we are recording a week before release. So we just had Labor Day. And so first off, how was your Labor Day? Marc, start with you. How's your Labor Day, man?
It was lovely. My in-laws are in town from Houston, and it is so fun having them here. They love to make sure that we are fed well, and so we have eaten incredibly well over the last few days. And they're so helpful. Gemma loves playing with them, and so it's been a great time. They're here for a couple more days, and excited to continue to hang out.
Cool. Glad to hear that, man. How about you, Sasha? How's your Labor Day weekend?
My Labor Day, it was very nice. Definitely. I saw a concert yesterday. I went to see Hiatus Coyote
Hiatus Coyote with a K, right?
with a K. Yeah. So that was super fun, and yeah, I just caught up on laundry and all the things you do when you're an adult.
Okay, cool. I'm glad to hear that. I still remember, like about pre-COVID, one of those years, I was at a Starbucks during Labor Day, and my former principal, Chris Vickers, comes in. And hey, Jonathan, what are you doing? It's Labor Day. You should not be working right now. And I guess I haven't really taken appreciation of Labor Day until like a little recently. So like a shout out to the labor movement in America. Thank you so much for making these things happen, man. And to our listeners, I hope you had a great Labor Day. But this is not Labor Day podcast. This is Chaotic Harmony, the podcast where we talk about the joys, struggles, and all things adjacent to elementary music. A bit of housekeeping, I can speaking. In our last episode, we had Joan Lee and Rodolin Sese talk about how in the world you do ORF at 8 school sites. They have a very unique kind of situation. Maybe it's not unique to yours. So go check it out. See how they make it work. So they did ORF levels similar to us three collectively. I'm not sure. So go check that out. Next week, we have everybody's favorite human, Danny McKay. He's going to be joining us. He's a friend of the show, and he's going to be just chatting with us, sharing his story. If you have any questions for Danny, this episode might come out after we record his episode. But in case it doesn't, send us a message or a question you would want to ask Danny. We'd love to send it, even if it's in post. That all said. So the new year has begun. We've all met with kids, or in Marc's case, you've met with big kids or adults.
Yes.
And well, first of all, Sasha, you just started. Is that correct?
Yes, this is week 3.
Week 3, but week 2 for teaching. Is that correct?
Week 2 for teaching. Yep.
Okay. Are your kids still in the honeymoon phase?
Oh, absolutely.
How is it? How are the behaviors? How's it chilling?
It's there's been some amazing growth over the summer for some of our kiddos who just, at the end of second grade, were still struggling with expectations and, what's appropriate for inside and outside. And over the summer, it seems like they grew up a little bit, and some of these kids are just being rock stars. And those were kids I've previously been a little nervous about. But overall, I feel like it's smooth. I'm hoping I don't jinx myself with that. but it's been really nice to be back in my classroom and getting in the flow of things.
For sure, yeah. And hopefully that face is I'm not sure. But as we all know, the honeymoon phase does not last. I feel like for my school, it lasted for, I guess part of it still existing, but it definitely is starting to wane. And so, just overall, kids get tired. We get tired as teachers, as people. And so, as educators, it's kind of vital that we have systems put in play. Marc, we've talked before about systems, and you love systems, you mentioned. I think we
I do.
kept that bit in last week's podcast. But
Eh,
in a nutshell, what are systems in the context of what we're talking about?
Systems to me are things that you design to put in place to make your life easier and to allow yourself to be more consistent with everything. I am somebody who, if I don't write it down, there's a good chance it ain't going to get done. And so I really need to make sure that I am trying to be as productive as I can be, as remembrancing as I can be, and just, there's lots of different areas of my job and even my personal life that I am being pulled in lots of different projects that we're juggling at once, just similar to teachers. You all have multiple different classes, you have different grade levels, and it's just a lot to keep track of. If you don't have a good system in place, you can find yourself kind of floating on this island of what am I doing? And then trying to make up lessons on the fly. And while it might work in the short term, in the long term, you're going to get to the end of the year. Or I used to get to the end of the year. I'm like, what did I actually teach this year? And I was like, did I really was I really successful? I know we had a lot of really great lessons, but the overall thing, was it what I actually wanted? And so, yeah, I think in my current role, building systems is a ton of fun. I work with some incredible people who are really good at building systems, and then also I love productivity, which ironically is super unproductive when I'm watching other people be productive on YouTube. But I fall down those rabbit holes all the time.
That's fair. So it seems like, at least with a portion of what you said, you were sharing how systems helps make sure that things you want to happen actually happen. Is that kind
Mhm,
of like, it's more of
mhm.
like an accountability piece?
Kind of, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sasha, is there like, how about you for like systems? Is there anything like you feel like you'd like to add to that from your perspective?
I think for me, it just like adding what Mark said, it just keeps you on track. It's if you're on or if you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that the lessons that go really well kind of go with that model that I've set up in the past. And if a lesson doesn't go well and I reflect on it, it's usually because I neglected a very important part of the classroom system that I have set up.
I like that. I like that. Um, so to everyone, what are some systems you have found that have worked well with your kids or big kids, or maybe in the past kids? Marc, it feels like you want to jump on this one.
Um, I do. Is that okay?
By all means.
Go for it.
If we start talking too long, just tell me, hey, Mark, settle down, like rein it in. Because again, like this is one of those things that I just love. I just think it's so fun. So something that I have been exploring a lot the last probably 6 months is the website slash app called Notion. And so Notion is this platform in which it is super customizable to make it whatever you want. So I use it for lots of different things. Primarily, I use it to keep track of all of my projects that I'm working on, all of my like kind of day-to-day tasks. And I have it set up in a way where I can type something in, I can put a due date on it, and if it's further out than 2 weeks, it disappears, so I don't have to look at it. And so once those 2 weeks come in, it then pops up on my to-do list of like, hey, you need to email John and Sasha and tell them how great they are. Great. When do I want to do that? Okay, October 1st. Fantastic. So I'm gonna
Why
put
wait
that in my
then?
Notion.
Shoot.
Hey, I figured you might need the extra boost in a month, you know?
Actually,
So
good. No,
yeah.
actually, I'll be on fall break, but I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless.
Uh, and so, it'll disappear. So I get it out of my brain and I know it's in a place that's going to help me remember it. Because often the times, and I don't know about you all, I often feel like there's always so many things running around in my brain and I need to take a moment to just brain dump to get it all out. And then I also it's funny because I feel like I am really good at details and then I'm really garbage at details for whatever reason. And so there are certain things like I'm super detail oriented on, and then there are other things where I should be more detail oriented on, but I'm not for whatever reason. But kind of doing that brain dumping, using Notion as a place to kind of help catch all of that just really allows me to just feel like I'm not trying to remember all the things all the time, or trying to remember, oh, what notebook did I write that in, or was that piece of paper that I wrote that in, or all of these other things where I feel like I struggle so much and I have struggled so much for so long. And now it's kind of, I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it's now I'm getting using Notion in a way to, and not sponsored by Notion, but if Notion wants to sponsor, hey. And so it's allowing me that opportunity to just use this tool to help me just stay organized within my life. Not again, not only at work, but I have personal stuff on there too. Like when my wife asks me to do something, or when we need to try to plan a trip or something all along those lines, like I can brain dump all of that in there. And I have it built out in many different ways, like, or even taking notes. I have a template built out where I write my year, I write my quarter, so like quarter one, two, three, four, and then I write the name of the event. So like we had a meeting today, so I wrote 2025 quarter three meeting with soccer team, whatever it was. And then I take all my notes and then my key takeaways, my like action items. So it's all built out in this system where it's repeatable every single time, and I know what I'm doing every single time, where I'm not trying to scribble notes here, scribble notes there, remember all these things. Like it is organized in a way that I can go back and look at it and just quickly glance, what are my to-do items? Okay, I need to go check with HR on something. Great, I know that I need to do that, put that in my to-do list. And so just allowing me to be in a nice state of flow.
So it
That was
seems like, if
gross.
I understand this correctly, it is a program that helps you, like, just keeps you on track. But it's, I think the key part about systems, it has to be replicable. Replicatable? Is that a word?
It is now.
Okay, right there. But don't get that face, Sasha. So it has to be replicated, and like I like that because like you can be organized, but if you cannot replicate it, then it's not a system. It's just a one-time dealio. Um, so how do you feel like, so Notion, not sponsored as we established yet? How do you feel like that would work for a teacher? I know for administrator, you mentioned that it helps you function by sending things out, which is great. In the context of a teacher, in the classroom, how would that work?
I'm so glad you asked, John. I was waiting for you to ask that question. I actually also use it to keep track of all of my private lesson students. And so, again, not a classroom teacher, so mildly different. However, it's kind of done in that same way where I have a list of all the people I'm teaching privately. I have all their lessons kind of projected for the semester because I know how many they're supposed to take. And then I have my template that I have in there of like, what did we work on? What did we do last week? What should we continue to work on that way? And so after our lesson, like I'm able to kind of go in there and just fill it out in a way that I can keep myself accountable and keep myself on track and showing up and being a present good teacher and coming prepared even, where I'm not being like, wait, what did we do last week? Did I
Mm,
give you that piece of music that I said I was going to? No, I didn't. Didn't write it down. Garbage, you know? And so this way
garbage.
I can tell myself, oh, exactly. And so I can tell myself like, okay, I'm going to be printing off, I'm Yours by Jason Mraz, for example. And like, okay, I'll bring that and I'll have it for next week. And so within my Notion, not sponsored, but can be, within my Notion, like I have a whole different like tab and whatnot for just my private lessons. That's different than like my tasks and to-do list and all that stuff. So you can really build it out in the system that is how your brain works. And I just think finding
Mm,
something that works for you is more important than finding something that's popular.
for sure.
And like I used to use good notes for all of my note taking stuff before this. And so like I could take notes on my iPad and I could access it on my computer or on my phone if I needed to. And it was really helpful. But the problem was I wasn't going back and like rereading them and like really spending the time needed to get the data that I was seeking to get out of it. So again, this just kind of helps me do that in a way. So for teachers in a classroom setting, you could set it up by classrooms and have all that, and then have all the stuff kind of on the front end. Um, and it's kind of like a kind of like a Google Drive, if you will, type thing, where you can kind of put all your stuff in there and use it to organize,
Cool.
but a lot more customizable.
Yeah. I'd be curious to try it because I use Google Drive for my stuff and Google Sheets, and it works, but it is clunky. I think that's one of the biggest issues with a lot of the programs I utilize. But Notion, not sponsored, but I'll have to check that out. Sasha, how about you? Is there a system that you've utilized, whether it's digital or in the analog space? Because there are a lot of
Yeah,
those.
yes. So when I first started teaching, I would buy a spiral bound notebook for every grade level. And that's how I planned. And, like every 2 pages was a week since I only saw my students once a week. So I had it planned out for the whole year. And I found that about November and then about March, I just stopped. And then the
Hmm.
second year when I was doing that, I remember I was looking for something in November and I didn't write it down. I didn't have any record of it. And so now I do most of my planning through Google Slides. Um, and I've tried to, in our district as well, we've been asked and encouraged to move away from a lot of screen-based
Hmm.
things. So because it's easy to put on a YouTube video and have a concept be taught, um, but to what point is that helping the students actually learn? So we've moved into like less is more with that. So I kind of have my outline for the day on Google Slides and then any important material. And that just keeps me on track as well, for like while I'm teaching. I click to the next slide and I'm like, oh wait, we're not supposed to go there yet. I forgot this one little thing. And that has helped me a lot. And again, like Marc's saying, it's digital, you can access it. That has helped me as well if I'm like at home, because I took my work email off my phone recently too.
Yeah.
That's
Good for
my
you.
a system for me to help me not have to think about work all the time. But if I do need to access it, it's on my phone, it's digital. I'm not trying to take as much work home with me, and that is how I have to function. But if you see my desk today, I have probably 13 sticky notes um, everywhere, and that is another way that I function because, like Marc, I can be super detail oriented in some things, and then other things I'm just like, well, hopefully the sticky note will remind me. Um, so that helps. I also have I'm one of those people who has probably like 107 alarms for every single day. So I have alarms constantly going off to help keep me on track because time management is not one of my strongest
Mm.
skills.
That's fair. No, I mean, since student teaching, I've realized time management is one of my weakest points, and it does not help that the new room that my the district has built for me still has no clock whatsoever. And so, in the one sense, that's a benefit because kids aren't constantly looking for the clock. The downside is, speaking of systems, systematically, the kids are going to be asking me, "What time is it? What time is it?" So it's like just it is when it is. Like lunch is coming when it's
You
coming.
don't, you don't want to write the time every minute when it changes on the board.
I did
That's
that
a no.
once. I did that for
Oh,
like 48 days, and then I fell apart. No, I'm kidding.
fair enough.
I did not do that.
Fair enough.
God.
No, no, no. I keyed. And does not help also that the microwave in my classroom has a fast second. So it goes faster than it should. Also, for some reason, that my TV is programmed for what is it called? Um, wherever.
Eastern.
Yes, Easter. Was that we said Easter?
No, Eastern.
Oh, Eastern time.
Eastern time.
No, even better.
Okay.
It's for British time. It's planned where
Oh,
it's because we're -8. There is 0 in England. So it's like, anyways, it's strange. I don't get it. I cannot adjust it because I have zero control of what the district has control over. But alas, yeah, I feel like these are good. I think these kind of things help us be accountable. I remember Crystal last season, she talked about having her systems in place where she had like every single instrument in every single area was labeled so that any time there's a substitute, they knew exactly where they were supposed to go, which is really cool. I do not have that yet, but I am slowly inching my way. Ever since Crystal mentioned, it's like, you know what, that's good because like sadly enough, poor systems element. Because of that, I still go back to school when I'm out, not when I'm sick, but when I'm out and I have to leave. I always go to school, get the classroom ready, leave the sub plan, and peace out. If I had the system in place, it would. I know. But if I had the system in place, it would just be easy and quick. I feel like for me, the systems wise, I've really started to. I guess we're really focused on the more digital or more note taking bits, or the teacher systems. Um, where I've been utilizing Google Sheets a lot and kind of like listing down. I've been really poor at it before COVID, listing down how each class did or what each class finished. And by having on Google Sheets, it's easy to edit, manipulate, and also utilize the numbers. How they did scores 1, 2, 3, 4. If kids did amazing, they're 4. 1 is terrible. But like like writing down, okay, yeah, the kids did a 4 today. The kids did a 3 because we had some really off weather, like, a half inch of rain and just throws us off, you
Oh
know?
no.
I know. But yeah, that has helped me this past 2 years on, yeah, utilizing Google Sheets. But I feel like also there's stuff for the kids as well, the analog space. I've been utilizing a lot more tape lately. I remember my first year teaching, I had a box. Do you remember this, Mark? We talked about this. Uh, in our first
No.
season, like I taped up the entire room, creating a box, and also I used like
Yes.
duct tape, which my custodians
You got
hated.
in trouble for?
Ah, yes. Thankfully, we got new carpet the next year, and so I was able to dodge that bullet. But even though I now use sit spots, rest in peace, I still, yeah, the company no longer exists. There are Velcro spots, but the sit spots company no longer exists.
Aw.
I know, sad
RIP.
face. But there are off brands which I have utilized, and like I've started to use not just hit spots but also little fishies on the floor, and the heads, the fish go in certain direction, so it helps kids recognize, oh, okay, we walk this direction, which is clockwise. So that has helped me have kids not just like speaking of Daniel McKay, as we mentioned in our before this show started, he posted a TikTok recently. What it's like before Labor Day. Have you seen that, Mark?
Not on TikTok.
Or Instagram? He also posts on Instagram. It's hilarious, and like it's just all right. Eyes on me, not the wall. Not and so like it's gold, but like having the fish going a certain direction allows kids not to be shouted out left. No, right. Not your right, my left. It's all pointing one direction. And I had to pen in cute faces because, kindergartners weren't sure, is that the face or is that the tail? I couldn't tell either. So, yeah, using the sticker fish. And also this year, I've also taped down some Velcro tape as well. I guess I'm all Velcro this year.
Sounds like
Velcro
it.
tape, and it helps kids know where they're not supposed to be when they line up. Because it definitely had kids lining up against the wall, and that was allowing them to accidentally erase stuff on the whiteboard. And also creating lines when we do, going down the aisle and such and such. Is there anything in the analog space, Sasha, that you've utilized that helps
Oh
make
yeah.
things flow well?
Oh yeah. I use sit spots. Rip. Um, can wash them, and so I washed them
Oh,
this summer and brought back some life to them because I'm trying not to buy as much for my classroom. I'm trying to be better about those things. It was probably 7 hours of work, so whatever, each their own. But it was really nice. So I have 5 rows of sit spots for my students. They know that when they enter the classroom, I'm always greeting them at the door. We do like our I've talked about this before, like the hearts or the fist bump. And I always have a focus video for them because all of my classes except for 2 come after lunch or recess. So they're not ready for music at all. And so we have a focus video, and they know that the first thing they do is they find their spot. And I should also mention that I create name tags for all of my students, and they're in a different spot each time. So I put down name tags for all the kids. Um, and that helps me with their names and just kind of a little accountability on their part.
question
And
for you on
that
that.
it
Sorry
yes.
to interrupt, but like question because for me at least, that's a very novel thing for a VAPA teacher to do. Um, and so, like, does your school fluctuate a lot, where you have to change name tags?
Well, they don't last the whole year. So So what I do is I go into my teacher's lounge and I take all of the index cards that have been purchased and that are in excess, and I write all the kids' names on them. Then the first week of music, they decorate their name tags, and then I laminate them all, I cut them all out, and I organize. I guess this is for me another digital or analog system is their name tags are all they're rubber banded together, and then I have them set up by day, and that keeps me in order as well. Like I just know that after this class is done, I put it in this pile, and then I grab this, and then I put down those name tags. That has helped me a lot because when I feel like I know a lot of students' names, and then two, the system is exactly the same every single time. Our first 5 minutes of music class is exactly the same every single week for 33 weeks of music because they know what to expect. And I used to, like, we say our expectations are class rules every single day. I used to think that was a waste of time. And then I realized sometimes you just need a little reminder.
Seriously.
Sorry, I'm like totally going off.
No, that's still system related. That's for sure. Like
Yeah.
you're right, because sometimes kids forget, and so the system in place you have is, hey, we talk about our expectations. Similar. I had the same situation. Like, I think it's 2 months in. They get it. They get it. Sometimes they forget. Sometimes I forgot. Shoot.
Yeah. Long weekends, it's a reset button
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. Another thing that I have tons of stuff labeled. And my goal for this year is to have my students be third grade and up, be independent for setting up and putting away the Orff ensemble. They already can do that with the drums, and they can already do that with the ukuleles, so that's great. But I have held on to the Orff instruments longer because they are so expensive to replace, and I'd rather me break it than the kid. Um, so yeah, and I have implemented a calm corner, although I don't like that. I don't like the name of it because I feel like putting a kid in a corner is like a negative connotation. So
Okay.
I call it my reset station. And that is something that students know that they can utilize. And I created a system for that this year. Last year, the kids they took advantage of me, but I was very nice and I just let them do their thing. So now you have to do a checklist when you're back there. You set a timer, you pick a method to reset your mind, whether it be like a fidget or coloring or filling out, um, writing down. Like I have 3 different papers, like basis, how are you feeling? Circle it, like writing or whatever. Sometimes I'll send kids back there if they need to, and I'll have it. And then they have a timer, and when the timer runs out, they have to come back unless they communicate with me like I need more time. Um, and that has helped kids. At least it's only week 2 of me seeing students, so they probably are still following the rules. But a lot of my frequent flyers are like there for 2 minutes and then they rejoin us, which has been really, really cool to see them kind of self-reflect in a way. And I don't have to stop teaching to get them to come back. So yeah. I'm trying to think of something else. I probably have a ton, but I have a lot of color coded things. All of my mallets are color coded. Um, so if you can play on a xylophone, it's pink. Telephone is yellow. Glockenspiel is green, and no, sorry, that's orange. I just got like the little stickers that you would put on a file folder. And I just wrap those around, and each instrument also has that, and that helps a lot because kids can go grab their mallets, and they know what instrument they can and can't play that on.
So these are the mallet heads you've color
It's
coded,
like
or like the handles?
it's the handle,
Okay,
yeah, like
okay.
right below the.
I
You
remember.
could you could sorry.
Go for it. No, you can one.
I was gonna say if you don't want to buy the stickers, like, you could just with a Sharpie do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I remember going to when I was like shadowing Mika when I was at LA. They did a whole session on like I didn't know that each mallet has the color of that mallet head has a specific intent, like utilized for different things. I did not know that.
Not a percussionist, so why would you?
I
Yeah,
mean,
these are things that you wouldn't know, and that's okay.
if
I'm a
there,
percussionist, so I know.
it's true, it's true. You should know. So, is there anything as you've now taught, Sasha? You've taught for 10 years now.
This is my ninth year,
Ninth year, okay.
beginning of my ninth year.
Marc, you've admin for how long?
Um, 5 years,
5 years.
3 years,
Ooh,
5 years.
5 years.
Can I just
He's a
say though,
big boy.
before I talk about my admin, a couple of things that I did in the classroom that I was
Sure.
really proud
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Yes, let's hear it.
So I super simple. On the front of my classroom and on the back of my classroom, I had like a left and a right, even if it was incorrect. So it was their point of view, the left and
Mm-hmm.
the right. And so, like or left would be my right facing them and vice versa. And so that really helped me. Whenever I was like, okay, raise your right hand and like point up to it or point up to where it was. And the kids like, oh, and then they'd often be like, but you're holding up the wrong hand. I'm like, yes, but it's fine. Um, and then with my sit spots, what I would do, I had them all numbered, as I think a lot of people do. And then in the back, I had on that big chart paper, I had a sheet for every class. And so I put it in the order in which I saw my classes. And so kids would come in the first day, they would get a number, and then they would go back and write their name. And so then I would put it at the back of the class so I could see it always. And so that helped me with the name thing. And so it was at the back of the class, and I would normally have a kid like, "Hey, yeah, Johnny, can you please flip the page over to our class?" Because that was something I always
It's
forgot to
always
do.
Johnny.
It always, well, I actually,
This
yes,
is
it
a
is all Johnny.
positive Johnny.
It
I
is a
This is
know. It's
a
positive.
always
Johnny. This
Johnny.
is a Johnny who's a leader.
Exactly. And so Johnny would skip on over and flip it over. And then if a kid's like, I don't remember where I sit, I'm like, did you find your name on the back? And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, yeah. And so that was something that I was really like, it helped a lot. And it was on just like one of those wood stands with the chart paper or whatever. And then I loved how I had my instruments. It made my heart so happy. And so I would take the bookshelves and I had made um these cards and I put it on the bookshelf and then I'd make the same card and put it on the instrument. So like soprano xylophone one and be on soprano xylophone one. So that's exactly where it went every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I trained the kids like, all right, Asha, can you go get soprano xylophone number two? And so you would go up and you walk there. John, can you go get metallophone number one? And so you'd go walk up there and whatnot. And so you knew exactly which one to go. And then when we cleaned up, they knew exactly where it went every single time. And then lastly, I had purchased, actually, I got for free in one of the Buy Nothing groups, those cubes. So I had two of them. It was two wide and four deep. And that's where I had my handheld, my hand drums. And so I put them in there, and similar to you, Sasha, I put the color coded dots on the drum, and then I had put the color coded dot on the cube. And so it's like, okay, can you go get, a drum? And then if you have a green one, when you put it back where the green dot is. And we got to a point, and then ukuleles were obviously numbered, and then I had them hang on the wall, and then they put the number on, whatever. But like we got to a point where there was like we were super efficient at getting instruments and putting them away, and like I wasn't having to spend all this time and energy making sure it was done right because we practiced it and we knew it, and I tried to make it in a way that was so visibly easy to understand, where it's just like, hey, you didn't do that, look over here. I'm like, oh yeah, and it was just a very mild correction if needed. um yeah, so
Yeah.
those are some of the things that I miss
I
a
think that's
lot.
one
I
of the
love
key
that.
things about being a teacher is like really thinking about. I mean, this is obvious, but also sometimes it's a good reminder. It says we say our expectations as a reminder. Like we have to think about where the kids are thinking and making it easiest for them so they can go right into the musicking. I think about like the whole. I've talked about this whenever I do my ukulele workshops. It's like make it easy for the kids. Like having the colors. Yeah, you can make them think harder, but is that really what our focus is? And so I think that's one of the important things about systems, making sure that we are making sure that they are musicking as soon as possible. Um, if there is, I recognize time management is not my most efficient thing, and just to make things coalesced, um, is there anything, any specific area you would want a first-year teacher or a second-year teacher to focus on in systems, what would that area be? We've talked about scheduling. We've talked about labeling. We've talked about different things. If there's one thing that you think that a new teacher should focus on systematically or systemically, I don't know what the one is for this one. What do you think they should focus on?
Wow, just really, really easy questions to answer.
Oh yeah.
I'm just kidding. Um, for me, something I would have loved to know was if there's already a system in place school wide.
Mm.
So when I came in, we were seven habits of healthy kids, and all of our school expectations were built around that. But I didn't know that because I was hired, I think, 2 days before school started, something like that. Like I
As
got
my
into my
kids.
classroom on the first. Yeah, that's just life with elementary music. Um, so I didn't know that. I rebuilt a whole system for myself and then was like shocked that students weren't responding to it because they had a whole other system built. So going off of that would have saved me so much time and just headache of why aren't they doing this way?
Mm.
And then I would say the thing in the way that it was said, like being proactive. And then they would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna line up in the line proactively. And just having those buzzwords helped so much. Also, I was lucky enough to have a really cool teacher who came and took me under her wing, and her classroom management was incredible. And I being able to just watch her build that was really, really cool. So just observing like the best gen ed teacher at your site and getting to know their process, just it's game changer.
Adapt someone. Yeah, I guess I know people always say
Have
don't
someone adopt you.
have someone adopt.
Have someone adopt you. Find a teacher bestie who is in third grade and or whatever grade, and just the veteran teachers who are amazing. You'll know who they are right away because their classes are amazing.
Marc, how about you? If you could tell a new teacher one thing they should focus on system wise.
Find out what works for you and stick to it. Don't feel the pressure from seeing things online of how other people do other things, or don't feel like you need to look like TPT, or don't feel that you need to make sure that you are using the exact lesson plan that your college professor assigned. While it might be helpful and it might be good and tried and true, if that doesn't work for you, don't waste your time and energy trying to make it work. Don't change your brain for something, find something that works for your brain.
Reach.
I like that a lot. Yeah. So you're saying that like all of the stuff we see on Instagram, TikTok, as far as teacher stuff, like my class looks as amazing as this. Like, don't try to compete. What?
Yeah.
No. Cool. Love it.
Yeah.
I think for me, I would say I think similar to Sasha. Was become a cat. No, we lost Sasha.
I'm sorry. I
No,
don't know
you're
what
good.
happened.
It's okay. We'll believe in Sasha for right now. Audio listeners, you have no clue what's going on, and that's good. Um,
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I feel like for me, I like both of your thoughts. There you go. Now she's back.
Welcome back.
I'm not sure what happened.
I feel like for me, it's create a good system of both praise and accountability for that is consistent and does not change amongst all your kids. And that a good one. And that's going to take some tinkering, obviously. It's not going to work immediately, but like focusing on that helps a ton so that kids aren't confused. You're not a moving target. You are consistent, and consistency provides stability for kids. That was awesome. And also, listeners, if you have any thoughts on systems, feel free to email us at chaoticharmony@classroom@gmail.com. But don't leave us just yet. We will be back after the break.
Hey, we just want to take a quick moment to shout out Mission Trails Financial, the partner making this show possible at no cost to you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by financial planning, you're not alone. But Mission Trails Financial is here to make things simpler. They offer tailored financial advice for you, from investments to tax and insurance planning, with a team of experienced fee-based advisors who are CFP designated and fiduciaries. That means they're putting your best interests first. Let's face it, navigating the world of finances can feel like drinking from a fire hose, with endless options for investments just a mouse click away. But Mission Trails Financial aims to cut through the noise by breaking things down into clear, actionable steps while providing regular updates. Mission Trails Financial believes everyone has the right to work with a financial advisor, regardless of how much you've saved. Mission Trails Financial's focus is building a relationship so you are not traveling your financial path alone. They even help you keep track of old 401ks when you're transitioning between jobs, because your financial future should always stay on track, no matter what changes. So don't wait. Let Mission Trails Financial show you how to make that next step towards the future you've worked hard for. Plus, your first consultation is absolutely free. Just visit missiontrailsfinancial.com or call 619-419-0238 today. You'll be glad you did, because leaning on professionals like Mission Trails Financial is how we get ahead. Check out the program notes for more details. Advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors LLC, a registered investment advisor.
And we are back, but if you are not new to this, you know what's up. Hard Left Turn, thank you all so much for being a part of this 122 episode plus journey. It's been a wonderful one. And also, if you've been with us since before I was stuck in your left ear only, I apologize. This episode, I'm stuck in your left ear. We'll fix it for next time, maybe. Anywho, thank you all. Thank you all. Whether you join us in episode 0 with Lauren Shelton or today, we appreciate you being here. And you know what helps us out? What would be a great way to say thank you? Make sure you support the things you love. It's a good mantra in life in general. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/chclassroom, where you can get special merch and things for the class. Also, we are revamping our Patreon. So I think that should be ready probably in a week or two. We'll see what's up. But keep your eyes or ears peeled for that. That's awkward. And if you don't have a coin to toss our way, that's okay. But there are free ways to support us. You can go onto Apple Podcasts or Spotify, leave us a review. 5 stars only. I say 5 stars, and that's clear. Someone did not follow that instruction, but alas, I know we're 4.8.
What's their username?
Spotify is they hide their identity, so we don't know.
It was probably my mom.
Coward.
Oh, really? Because she loves every single post of ours. Regardless, you can always leave us a review there. If you write one on Apple, we can definitely read it to you. Michelle, thank you for being an awesome person, but we want someone else to take the mantle of latest review. So, also, go on to youtube.com/@ch-classroom. Like, subscribe. It's all free stuff. Helps us ensure that the mics and lights stay on. That all said, Spiccato. I have something that is in every single classroom, but I want you to utilize it in a different way.
Is it crayons?
I got a box of crayons.
Is it the 50? You have a 54 pack of that in your classroom?
64. No,
Oh,
I have
sorry.
I have this in my house, but
Okay.
60 but crayons.
Like, okay, money.
Except for
Must be nice.
obviously doodling. What else would you use a crayon for in a music classroom? Sasha, yes.
Okay, so all of those crayons have pretty fun names, right? It's
They
like
do.
blue sky, navy blue, and like cerulean seaside, and there's a ton of alliteration. So you could do a word chain with it, with like all of those little fun names. That would be something super cool. And then find a way to integrate some art in there, Mr. Mkeehmer, the master of the integration.
I wouldn't say that, but you're very kind. Thank you.
Yeah,
like that.
I think.
I remember when I was younger, I saw a cerulean, and my brother and I thought it was pronounced Soltron. I don't know why. And we had a little dinosaur that was cerulean colors. We called it Soltron, just because color. But I like that because it's not just that, but also, so we're like doing my young ones rhyming words, and like
Mm.
And so, what rhymes with what? How would we add on? So I forgot. I think it's my aunt came back, or a version of that. That's less problematic. Um, and so I then asked the kids. So your aunt traveled. So my aunt. So I always say my aunt lives to travel and brings back something. And it's like, from Japan, waving fan. So like, what is a place that you can travel to? McDonald's, Disneyland, Orlando Studios, Mexico. What's something that rhymes with it? And so I like that, offering big color words as a word bank to utilize would be a cool thing. I like it. Marc, how about you?
One of two ways. You can use it for notation, and so you have your quarter notes, and then you can make eighth notes with them, and so that visual portion of it. If you're working on that without the bottom note heads, of course. So you have that with your stems. Secondly, you can use it to make up groups. And so each kid gets a crayon. And if you need to split up into two groups, all right, all my warm colors on this side, all my cool colors on this side. And then, or if you wanted to have them pick it, so they maybe pick their favorite color, and then you can be like, all right, if you are whatever, if you're a shade of blue, you can go over there. If you're a shade of yellow, over there. And so using that as kind of a classroom management-y tool to break up groups.
I love that. Speaking of breaking up groups, something I've started this year before breaking up into groups is I have them find a partner and then I go from there. So at least you have one person you're comfortable with, and then we go into groups of 4 and 6. And
great.
Sometimes when I was a younger teacher, I'd be like, no, we cannot have a group with an odd number. And now I'm like, oh, if you want to go with your friend and you're going to work, great. I'd rather you work than fight you for 30 minutes in a group you're just going to sit and pout at.
Fight.
Sorry,
fight.
But yeah, I love the grouping thing.
Team Robin's Egg Blue. I cannot get close
Robin,
enough to that camera.
I only had the 12 crayons, so it was like blue and green. The basic colors. John, how would you use crayons in your classroom?
Well, I mean, I've kind of added on to what Sasha said. That's my idea initially. I also think, yeah, I like that. Jonathan, you came up with a great idea right there. Awesome. What? The sound
What
just
kind
cut
of
out?
movement
What
thing
happened
could you
there?
do?
What happened? I feel like, I think there's something to be said about notation. Long, you did long, short, so if you like vertical versus horizontal. There is something to be said about rolling, but I think like the fact of the box of crayons, has something. I think there are so many wonderful, as you mentioned, Sasha, so many wonderful names. I don't know. I'm gonna let the listeners guess.
I have one more idea, and it's pretty silly.
Make it quick.
Oh, sorry. I will, if you want to subscribe to Patreon, I'll tell you.
Do it. Yeah, unfortunately, we are on a time crunch. Our producer, aka me, is saying we're low on time. So, do you have any thoughts, listeners, on what you do with a box of 64 or less crayons? Let us know. Email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Speaking of which, where can they reach out to you, Sasha, if they wanted to ask you questions?
You could email me at sasha.stone@smusd.org because I am currently off social media. We'll see how long it lasts.
Creating good systems for your mental health.
Good for you.
Marc, how about you?
Send me an email, mkeehmer@gmail.com. Send it through Chaotic Harmony. It'll get to me. I don't have any like fun socials and got rid of all that stuff. So, yep.
That's fair. Yeah.
Send me a letter. I'll give you my home address.
Oh, okay. What is it? It is 4629. No. And you can find me on the socials. I'm still there, kinda, at Mr. Seligman, MrSeligman, on TikTok, on Instagram. And you can find us at CH Classroom on those two, as well as Blue Sky, Biskies. And you can also email us. That's probably our best bet. Email us at chaoticharmonyclassroom@gmail.com. Thank you all so much. I hope these systems come well in place. I hope, Notion sponsors us next episode, so we'll find out. But, friends, thank you all so much. Everyone, bye!
Bye.
Bye.
About it later. We'll talk later. I forgot. I'm also recording on Audacity, so I might be able to finagle something.
The audacity.
The audacity.